Can we have Hila as a guest on our podcast?
No.
Why? Because people think like I hate her or she doesn't like me or something. Like I feel like we need to have like, because like you know what I mean. Like I like Hila so
She
much.
could sit in. Yeah, she could probably sit in.
You just said no. Now you're like,
Just a snap judgment. She's busy. Don't talk about Hila. We're cutting this part out. She doesn't want to be talked about.
Are you fucking serious?
I'm serious. We have to cut this.
That's fucking crazy.
Like, what's even the point? She doesn't want to be talked about.
Because she doesn't like that you're always bringing her up and saying how she doesn't like you and all this shit because it's not true and she finds it annoying because she doesn't want people to start thinking that like she doesn't actually like you.
Well, she doesn't.
Well, whatever. Just cut it out, Dan. I'm serious.
I'll talk about it in mine. I don't care because that's so bullshit. I'm gonna stop talking about my personal life altogether then too.
Okay, whatever.
I'm gonna turn the H3 podcast and boring and I'll just go down the tubes and no one will care because you guys are not honest and open about shit. So you cut everything out that's personal. I'm telling you, whatever. Why you can't even like mention her?
We mentioned her last episode. Because you know what, leave it in.
No.
Every time
don't.
you go,
care.
why does Hila hate me? And she's like, I don't hate her. It's super annoying. Why does she keep saying that?
And
And
why
it's
doesn't she
causing...
text me? Like, just
Text
me.
you?
Be like, hey, I don't hate you. You know what I mean? Like, but when she's like telling stuff about Moses,
Because I always say...
I don't care.
Yeah, we should cut this.
Let's just move on.
No, but like in general, like I'm telling you now, like she needs to text me and just be like, hey, I don't hate you, you know. But it's like she's telling Moses like, oh, Trisha says this
I think,
and that. It's
okay,
like,
this is all off the record, but I think she's just really annoyed by the situation and she just needs some time.
what's the situation that I said
Not
something?
anything to do with you, with Moses.
What'd he do?
He like is always... Honestly, it has nothing to do with you.
Okay,
And I don't want to get in the middle of it.
So
but
why
it's
did
between him and her.
But she literally brought me up because I was like, we were watching TikTok and I saw the thing being like at 1 a.m. in the morning. She was like, what are you telling Trisha? Like, why is she saying this stuff on the podcast? Like, all this stuff.
Oh,
I'm like,
yeah, because she was irritated because you were like, I'm not inviting mom. And she was like, dude, why? Like, my mom doesn't need to see that. And I know,
God.
but then but it's like, Moses, why are you telling her that you're not close to us and that you're not close to your mom and you're not inviting your mom
But
to the
you guys
wedding?
talked about Moses on the podcast well before we started this one.
But it's not true.
And he's not public. You guys were talking about him and shit. Whatever. It's so fake, and that's why H3 is not what it was because you guys are fake as fuck and cut things out.
Okay, you're like on a thing now. So.
I'm not. I just think it's so fake. It's so bullshit. It's like, oh, let's talk about everything
Hila
that goes through your life.
asked not to be included, and I'm
okay.
respect her request.
then I'm not talking about anything personal anymore.
Okay.
I won't talk about Moses. I won't talk about me. Like, it's just whatever. Who cares?
Should we? Well,
Make it boring. Cut it. I didn't cut all of it. I literally couldn't care less. Let's just keep going.
why are you so upset?
It's just so bullshit. You guys are such bullshit. You guys are so fake, and it's like actually annoying.
Why is it fake that
people.
Hila doesn't want?
Because you're like, don't get in the middle of it, but then it's also I see that it's about me and that my name's brought up, and it's like, okay, if my name's being
It's
brought
not
up,
about you.
It's between Hila and her brother. Why do you need to get involved in that dynamic? Just let them sort it out. How's that fake?
But now you're like, don't talk about Hila, even though we can talk about Moses,
She
we can
needs-
talk about everybody, we talk about
No, she
my
doesn't like
family.
that you every episode
my
we have the
sister
same
and
conversation.
OnlyFans.
We have the same conversation every episode where you
I
say
even bring
Hila
up the
doesn't
family.
like me.
I even bring
Hila
up the
doesn't ever say hi
I
to
was
me.
like, hey, can we have her as a guest? And then you're like, cut all that actually. She doesn't want to be talked about, period. Oh, okay, she's too good for this podcast. All right, cool. I don't give a fuck.
No, because I know she needs some time.
Okay, cool.
I'm away from all this.
Great.
And you go, I came in, you start off always by saying, I came in and Hila didn't greet me and she was super rude. And Hila's like, that's bullshit.
really didn't say that. When
You
did I
say
say
that
she
about
was
me too. And she goes, that's bullshit. I'm always nice to her. I like her.
Oh
The whole
my
thing
God.
is stupid.
Never
And
said
people
that
are going to
she was
start,
rude
and
to me.
she's,
I never said she was rude to me ever.
you say she doesn't greet you nicely. Shit
I've
like
never said
that.
that about Hila ever. I've said that about you. I've never said that about Hila. Find that on the tape. Like, I hate when you say that stuff, just like last episode.
You
You're like,
always
oh,
say it,
I can
and
tell you
it's
that
not
there was a
true.
episode and you never find it, and then you just glaze over it. You're like, you did say that. Show me where I said that in a video or anything. I never said that once about Hila. Like, that's bullshit. I hate when you put that shit in my mouth. Like, that's so stupid.
I feel like you just did it now. You talk about how she doesn't like you. And Hila's like, I like her. I don't want her to keep saying that.
Fucking tapes and have her as a guest on because people think she doesn't like me and that I don't like her, and that's not true, and that's why I think she should be on. And then you're like, cut that. We can't talk about her. Oh, okay, she's too fucking good for this podcast. Cool. Love that. Bitch, I don't give a shit. Leave it. I don't care. Cut it all out. Who cares? I just keep on with this. I don't care. Like, I don't care.
And that's why I'm not comfortable coming in this house because I'm sorry.
I'm not
she's
sure how
too
to
good,
respond because
talk
I feel
about
like
it,
you're
all
having like
I said, let's just move on then.
an
You don't have to
issue.
talk about it anymore. You're the ones that talk about it.
Okay, let's move on. You want to move on?
For us, okay.
It's 12 seconds later. It's not like that. You guys can chat off
Don't
the
talk
show.
about me, even though I'm on the fucking H3 podcast channel for you guys, getting you guys more views overall, more subscribers overall. You guys were getting 300,000 views this summer, so fuck off. Oh, but I'm too good. Don't talk about me, even though you're on my fucking channel.
So you are taking credit for the renaissance of the H3 podcast.
For sure. You guys, of course, I saw it this summer. It was fucking tanking. But, and I'm on this, and people are more subscribing. People say, I see it all the time. Not saying I'm the whatever, but people are like, I came here because of Trish. Like, I found it. Because, of course, I bring a new audience to this channel. So it's like, but I'm too good for it to be talked about, even though I'm on the fucking H3 podcast channel.
You're literally taking
like this
something way
altogether,
outrageous.
honestly. And then not in this house. Like, I feel uncomfortable coming here.
I don't know what to do because you're having like a moment.
I'm not. I'm like, honestly, can just move on from it. But like, I just hate people who think they're just too fucking good for shit.
It's not she's too good.
She has a fucking podcast. When you have a podcast, you're talked about. Your life's talked about. You guys talked about Moses and me.
Dude,
well before we did this podcast, you guys talked about us. Never once asked me anything.
No, it's because you always make
the same comment about her.
Asked me one thing this summer, or when we started dating. You never. But you guys talked about me.
I don't even know what you're on about. She just doesn't want you. She's not too good.
Don't fucking mention my name. Meanwhile, you guys can talk about whoever you want. You guys talk about me all spring.
You can talk about whatever you want too. She just doesn't like that you always come on and make the same comment.
She's not a fucking private figure.
No, but you guys are family. It's different.
No, fuck off.
You're with her brother.
I won't come back here. Like, if you want me, I know you guys own a fucking building too, but like, I'm not gonna come back in this house because I'm so over it. She has a fucking podcast. She's a public
figure. What about the pizza
surprise?
surprise?
Talk shit about us. Like, I'm so fucking over it.
Dude,
it's not like that.
But it is. You guys had free reign to talk about, especially me. You guys didn't even contact me. You guys were talking to Moses, but not me, and talked about me all spring. My relationship with Moses, all this stuff.
It's a family issue.
Okay.
It's between Moses and Ela.
Okay, cool. Great.
Why don't you believe that?
And it was between me and Moses this spring, but you guys had a fucking chime in about, I don't like it. That's what she said.
And when Moses
was like, I don't like it. I don't like it.
When Moses asked me not to talk about it, we stopped talking about it.
You guys didn't.
Yes, we did. After the time when I showed the text between
all this is gonna be cut. It's so pointless. I literally don't care. Cut it. Don't give a shit. Don't give a shit about you guys. Like, I literally don't care. And Moses doesn't like you, and you guys don't like him, and that's cool. I'm happy.
You can't. That's stupid.
But it's true. It's so
well.
True.
That's fucked up. That's the kind of shit you say that makes Ela mad because you go, Moses doesn't like you, and so what you're doing, is you're causing problems in their family.
That's so not true.
That's fucked up.
You told Trisha this.
She doesn't want any more of that.
Excuses. It's like, who the fuck are you, bitch?
Say what? What did she say?
She said, I read it. I saw it because I was on fucking TikTok.
Yeah, maybe you shouldn't read his private fucking message
when
with
I'm
his
on
sisters.
TikTok and there's a message that comes up and I see it, I'm not reading it. I see it.
Yeah,
and
no,
I see
you're reading his private
brought up.
messages with his sister. You shouldn't do that unless he shares it with you.
And he does.
Okay, so what did he say? So what did she say?
We're not even talking about it.
It's not. It's look exactly. This is what she doesn't want.
But when my name's being brought up, I'm not gonna fucking.
She's
whatever.
not talking about you. She's having a conversation with her brother.
Mm-hmm. All right, cool. And then we'll just move on.
Yeah, I think we should move on. We have pizza on the way. You're just gonna forsake all the pizza.
I don't want to like come back here for real, like to the house, because I don't feel comfortable. It's her house. Like, I don't want to be in here.
You don't want to eat the pizza?
We can finish this episode, but like, I'm just telling you.
Are you still excited for the pizza or no?
Right? Yeah, I can't wait.
That's sarcastic. I'm still excited for the pizza. Can we move past this?
When I have a kid, I'm not gonna have nannies. That's for damn sure.
What does that mean? You're not gonna have a babysitter when you have a kid? How are you gonna do anything? You're gonna. What does that mean?
You're trying to attack our parental abilities?
Let's just move on. There's no attack. I just made a comment.
There's something wrong with having a nanny?
In my eyes, yes.
Really?
We just keep doing the.
What about daycare?
Daycare's different.
Why?
Daycare is nannies are like people who come here and take care of your child all day.
Because we're working. That's how everybody has nanny. They work. People work.
You can take care of kids and work. I never had a nanny. My parents, I never had a nanny.
And so you think we're bad parents? That's what you're insinuating?
I said I would never have a nanny. Did I say you had a bad parent? You're putting words in my mouth. I literally said I would never have a nanny if I had a kid.
Okay. Well, I think a lot of people have nannies. A lot of our employees have nannies. Because we both work, right? Mm-hmm. And so we have a nanny that Theodore really likes, and he spends the whole day with her. And then when she's done, around 4:30, we take over and spend... Cool. I think that's pretty normal.
Okay. Happy for you guys.
Why are you attacking our parental
I'm not. I said
choices?
I would not have a nanny if it was me.
But
I'm not attacking your parental choices. You do whatever you want. I'm not attacking
But why did you make that comment then?
I'm just saying. I heard a nanny upstairs, and I was like, oh, I want to have a nanny.
Why'd you say it?
Because I wouldn't have a nanny. I heard a nanny upstairs. And I was
But clearly you're trying to say something about us.
No, I'm not at all. That's you.
Really? You just said it out of nowhere when you're mad at me?
You're projecting that.
No, I'm not. How am I projecting?
Because you're like, oh, you're attacking us. I didn't attack you. I just said I wouldn't have a nanny.
Do you think I'm a good dad?
It was a comment. I have no idea. I don't know. You seem fine. You seem good with him. I have no idea if you're a good dad. I can't say either way.
But I have a nanny.
Yeah.
That's a problem.
I don't think it's a problem. I would just, if I was lucky enough to have a kid, I would just spend my time with the kid and figure it out where we could, figure it out. Because my mom and dad did that. My mom was a single mom, and we still never had a nanny.
She didn't work when you were like 1.5?
She worked at night.
And nobody watched you?
My brother.
Oh, well, he doesn't have a brother or a sister. So should he just be by himself?
You have family, don't you? You can't be with his grandparents?
They're not here. They have a life. I wish,
they have a life.
I would let them come.
That's what family does. My grandma watched me.
Okay, so then it's the problem with my family.
Sure, put that out there if that's the narrative you want to say, sure. Whatever you want me to say, I will. If you want me to say that.
I'm just trying to follow the thread because you're upset. And
There's
you're trying
no
to.
threat. I
No.
literally made a comment that if I'm lucky enough to have kids, because I can't fucking have kids, I'll be with them all the fucking time and make sure I can spend as much as I can with them. And then when
Don't you think it's healthy to be away from them sometimes?
Yeah, but they should be with another family member.
So they should never be with anyone that's not in their family.
I don't believe in that at all.
Seems extreme. Seems like not everybody has that luxury.
Okay. And do you know what it's like being with a 1.5-year-old?
Of course not, because I don't have a parent.
Right.
It's a little insensitive because I'm infertile, and it's a really issue that I struggle with.
Well, I
so
ask is because you
I
realize
don't
that you
have
can't
kids,
do
and
any
so by
work when you're
saying
with.
that, you're saying, do you have kids? Throwing it in my face that I don't. So
No, that's not what I was doing.
it's exactly what you were doing because you know I don't have kids. So
No,
why
my
would you
point.
ask
My
the question
point was
that you know?
you're assuming that it's so easy for me to be with a 1.5-year-old, not knowing how insane and like nonstop it is that I wouldn't be able to do anything else with the rest of the day when I have work to do. I have to
Right.
work. I'm an adult. I have a job like most adults do. And what happens if you're two parents and you have to go like,
Where's your mom and dad don't want to watch Theodore? They don't want to have.
They're
spend
here on
every minute they
Sundays.
can with him. I know my mom would be like, "Oh, let me like my."
That's your
niece is
mom.
him. Right. So I'm just giving you my perspective. You asked
So
for
you're
my help.
so you're criticizing my mom.
You said I giving you my perspective.
No, I want your perspective.
Okay, that's all I said.
Well, I do wish you guys have a kid, and I'm sure it'll be great. And I hope that you quit doing everything you do in life just to be with
I
that
wouldn't.
kid
I would make it work
24/7.
because I
You
work
would
for
make
myself, and you
right.
know what? That's when you find someone.
And I hope
my mom, my
Moses.
sister.
I hope Moses quits every single thing he does to be with the kid every single moment when you are.
That's totally fine if
yeah.
he wants to. If he doesn't want to, whatever he wants to do.
Yeah, like everybody does with kids.
Yeah.
They quit everything they do.
When you have a kid, you should try and be with it as much as possible, not
Be with
with
it.
strangers.
What triggered you again? What were we talking about?
Ela being too good for me to talk about on this podcast. Don't even fucking mention her. And she's a fucking queen. Like, don't even fucking mention me on the podcast.
Right, that's
even though
why.
I'm a literal podcaster.
Right, that's why.
Cool. And you can talk about
Oil. You want to do the oil?
Sure.
The pizza's here, everybody. Woo! The pizza's here. We had a full meltdown while you were gone.
Expect another text from your sister. Oh, my God. I'm not coming back to the house. I'm not. Like,
Moses said, what happened? You know, this is the literal meme where you walk in with the pizza and the room's on fire. This is the literal meme where you come back with the pizza. Oh, my God.
I just left to get pizza.
This is literally... She's really upset because she was saying how Ela doesn't like her.
Ela says, don't talk about me on the podcast. All I said was you should have the guest. He's like, we can't mention Ela. She doesn't want me to talk about, oh, she's too good for a fucking podcast. Even though we were talked about, they never once consulted me at the
I
beginning
said
of
it's a
spring. She has a fucking podcast. I brought life to the fucking H3 channel, but oh, Ela's too fucking good to even mention her name. I said nothing bad. I said like, oh, we should have her as a guest or whatever like that. Don't
No.
even mention Ela. She doesn't want to be talked about. Fucking
Okay.
I literally don't care. Literally, I don't want to come back because I really fucking hate her.
So she always making comments about the family and how...
I wasn't. That wasn't it. I said, oh, Ela should be
That's
a guest
why-
on the podcast. And you're like, don't fucking mention Ela. She's the one I'm talking about. Oh, a fucking queen. You guys can talk about my shit all the time, but her, don't fucking mention her name. Dumb fucking bitch.
Okay.
I think we should just end it, honestly.
Yeah, I think so too.
She's such a fucking bitch.
She's not.
And you are too, and you're a fucking cuck.
You take
You have no
a
fucking
cock.
backbone.
All right, you should leave. We'll talk later. Yeah, you should get out.
I am going, but
Yeah.
we're not talking later.